So today I'm going to be sharing a little history, some of the mistakes I made along the way, 3 aspects to building a relationship resulting in long-term clients, and what's next. When you feel like this, and believe me, I have felt like this, you know, it's really kind of like where we need to get to sometimes. This actually looks like an earlier version of what I did last night, but we'll get through it, that's okay. 1999, this is a photograph of myself with Wayne Dyer. I love this photograph. I printed it out, and this was part of this synchronicity thing that was going on with me, and just believing that, oh my gosh, and I had a little natural awakenings, and of course you notice that awakenings is very large, and natural was little teeny tiny, but that's the way it was in 1999. So it's all about goal setting, setting sail, holding onto the rudder. I mean, this is kind of the space that I was in. But I also really believed that, you know, it was all about positive thinking, and because I was really coming out of a lot of pain. And so my whole perspective was, and I shared it a little earlier, that I had become this workaholic, not alcoholic, workaholic. Thank goodness, I didn't really get that word. And, you know, so the whole concept was that when one door opens, another one opens too. My first ad that was sold actually was sold from Naples. And that was before I even moved to Fort Lauderdale to, you know, set up my magazine. So when I was out and about and talking to people about sales, it was all about the cool things that Natural Awakenings was bringing to the community. And again, this was the only ad that I had sold. And, I mean, not that I'd sold, that was in my magazine. And our focus on distribution. So as I was out selling, I was also setting up distribution points, because I didn't know anybody in Fort Lauderdale. And I really felt deeply that all the stars had lined up for me to do this magazine. You know, I felt like I was in the right place at the right time, and such a positive attitude, no matter what anybody said, like, oh, publishing, that's a really tough business. It's like, nah, it's not my reality. You know, it's like, I don't get that, you know. So that was just where I was, and I really thought that this full-page ad that was sold for me was my ace in the hole, but was it? You know, it's like, so I'm out there talking to people about the magazine and what we were going to do, and time was running out. November 1999 was my first day of being a franchise owner, and I was set to go to publish my first magazine in the middle of December. So I had a month and a half to put together all the ads and the content for my first publication, and I was going to, that was the January issue 2000, and if you remember, that's the Y2K crisis, quote-unquote crisis, and I was doing something totally different. So quiet desperation set in. But I had this belief, so I just sat back, take a deep breath. This is all going to work out. Didn't know how, but everybody that I talked to was like, "Who's Dooley?" You know, because they would say, "Well, who's advertising with you?" That was like, and I'm out there selling ads. Well, who's advertising in your magazine? It's like, this is my first magazine. So, Dr. Dooley, who's he? And so, every time, and that was such a frequent question, and when I heard the who's he, it's like, oh. But I kept going. This guy, I sold my first ad to. And he was a chiropractor. He was like way on the other side of town. And he was the one who said, yes, if Dr. Dooley, and he knew Dooley, he said, well, it's good enough for Dooley, it's good enough for me. It was like I finally found somebody who knew who this guy was. Oh, gosh. I was so thrilled. I called Sharon, I was like jumping up and down. It was just so exciting. And also in this desperation, you know, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to fill my magazine? I was trying to give away ads and do drawings and, you know, put your business card in, and if I pull your business card, you get a quarter-page ad. And I also had conversations with people about, okay, you're not ready to buy an ad yet, but here's what I'm doing. If I've got white space or quote-unquote leftover space in my magazine, then I will sell it to you at a big discount, but we've got to get your ad design first. So they had to pay for the ad design, and we filled out the paperwork kind of based on the idea that maybe it might happen, maybe it might not, you know. But it was like I just needed to have conversations with I needed to have plan B in place. I needed to have something in my magazine. I mean, that was really kind of the deal. So I did whatever I could. This was the cover of my first magazine. And I picked this picture. Well, I think it was the only one available, but whatever. I love...
There was no picking. This is the cover for this one. Good luck. Here's the bump.
I loved the dance, the color, what it spoke. It just so spoke to me. I was just so happy about, you know, making this all happen. And there was another thing that I did called the rule of arm's reach. And if I was in your area and like, oh, here's my new magazine, you know, and I just kept passing out like magazines to anybody that would take it. And I was like, and they're all Naples magazines, but here's the magazine, this is Naples. And then, of course, when I printed January, it was the same thing. I was like just passing out the magazine to everybody because I didn't care if they were advertisers, if they were readers. You know, I wanted people to know that I was in town. And so that was really, really important to me because nobody had a clue. And Naples was like way on the other side of the world, you know, so... Eventually, I understood that there was a better way to deal with, or to do sales, and it wasn't about me, and it wasn't about really what the magazine was. You know, like we could have great distribution, which I was building, but it was really all about the client. It's like, what a concept. So in a nutshell, that's the nutshell. The magazine. Okay, so the magazine was to me what I was to my clients. And what I mean by that is that this publication, however it is that it shook out, this was the end result of the community. And this was the proof of what was happening. So this became my, the way that I sold things. This was it, you know, this was how I ended up selling other ads, was the product that I had created. So the magazine was my sales tool, just the way I was the sales tool for my clients. In other words, it was just kind of this looping thing that was that was all around. Does that make sense? Maybe. Yes. I came up with this sentence last night, very late, and it made perfect sense to me last night. It doesn't quite this morning, but anyway, I was like trying to word it in a way that I could really get it. So, next.
Beautiful, Susie. Almost like a
Sales
math
is
expression.
simply a process. It's really just a conversation. That's all it is. It's so simple. It's scary simple. It's just really a conversation. And so it became the sharing of the rule of VCP. And some of you have heard this before. But so the visibility, V is for visibility. And this is the road, you know, it's like road into the sunshine. So visibility, when I talk to my clients and I say, hey, how are you visible in the community? You know, that's the first thing that we need to establish as a magazine publication. We get to make you visible. Just like Dooley, he was not visible in the community. And this spoke volumes to me. It's like nobody knew who he was. He had this practice, he was running this full-page ad, and so he was now becoming visible. And so as I was, you know, doing the magazine, I was creating visibility for not only the individual clients, but also the community. I saw this magazine as really becoming the community conversation, because there wasn't anything really, well, there wasn't Natural Awakenings. There were 2 other publications going on at the time, but they were a little broader focus, and ours was much tighter niche market, which I really, it spoke to me, you know, as part of my core values. So as the magazine was becoming visible, and that's what I meant by the magazine was to me, as the magazine was becoming visible, it was that first step. I had to get the magazine in print. I had to get it out into the neighborhoods. I had to be visible. If I'm not visible, why would anybody want to advertise with me? But in the beginning, there was no visibility. So the next thing, and this is really, so I speak with my clients. What's the message? What is it that you want? What is the magazine? What's your business? So these are all questions that you want to ask. Credibility is the second part of that. And again, this is over time. So I say to my clients, don't do the 1 month thing, you know, like Nicole was saying. It's like, or save your money, you know. Really, hold on to it and build up your business. Credibility is built up over time. Just the same as the magazine. The magazine was becoming more credible. It's like month after month after month they were seeing this, year after year. So now it's got great credibility. This is the question, how can we support you? I do not use the word help. How can I help you? I was told by another woman that I network with, and she was saying, when you use the word help, how can I help you? It's kind of like you have to have a really close, intimate relationship with that person and even to have them accept help. Since we don't have these intimate relationships with new clients, it's not a word that anybody wants to hear. But the word support does. So I never use, try never to remember to not use that word. So it's always about how can I support you. It's just a much friendlier way to do it. And then of course profitability is that last part of the VCP. And that was for me at the end of that first month after I did all the sales and I was out being visible in little teeny pieces in the community. I think I made $1.382, you know, that first month, but I was at least profitable, and I was so happy about that. I've always been in the black, you know, always. So we're partners in this. This is the other part of the conversation with my clients or potential clients is that we're in this together. You know, it's not just I want to take your money and pop your ad in and not ever talk to you again. So it's about developing very strong relationships. Definition of a great sale, and yes, it's about the editorial support. It's how can I help you become very visible in the community and sharing your story and what you're doing. Understanding the process of how we work with clients. I know the magazine and how it works. I can, if you say, okay, I only have $100 to spend per month, I'm not going to be talking to them about a quarter-page ad, you know, and I'm going to talk to them about a community resource guide. Or if they say, well, I have $50 a month, then I'm going to talk to them about the calendar. I say, this is about a long-term relationship. As you grow your business, you're going to want to get larger ads. Two of my original clients back in 1999, Bernie Burton, Hepshire Automati, they are still advertising with me. I mean, you gotta love that. You gotta love it. Several more have retired or moved away out of that first edition. I mean, that is so, so cool. So when your clients actively participate, we all win. And it's not just about the readers, it's not just about the advertisers, and it's not just about the publisher. It's about the community. And that's what makes us so powerful. And it gives power to the clients too, and the readers, you know, because it's really... So get clear on where you are. From there, take your steps toward joy. Follow your heart. You can't go wrong. And just breathe.